What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? New show alert. Okay, so listen, my niece then got me watching this show. A new season has started, and she's gonna do reviews with me. She's not doing this one with me because she is out right now, honey. But she is gonna be doing reviews with me. So the show is 90 Day Fiance. Okay, girl, y'all know she gets me watching these shows. So this is season 8, episode 1. I didn't realize they had 8 episodes of this show, but they do. So it looks like a couple of these couples are new, and a couple of these couples are from last season, and they're continuing their story, I'm gonna assume. So we start off with Brandon. Brandon lives in Dinwiddie, Virginia, which I go through Dinwiddie every time I go to North Carolina. I've been through Dinwiddie a couple of times. I think I got a ticket or two down Dinwiddie. Anyway, it's not that far from DC, and then we're going to see that in this episode. So Brandon is I think he said he's 29, 27, something like that. He's in his late 20s. I didn't write down his age, but I think he's in his late 20s. He does pest control by day. He also helps his parents with the family business, which they have a dog grooming business, and they actually have a farm. His parents, he lives with his parents. He said he's very close. His dad is his best friend. His mom, he's a mama's boy, and they're very close. Lives with his parents. They actually put a profile on farmers.com for him. Farmers.com, y'all. But he said he didn't have to use it because he met his boo thing. And that is Julia and she lives in Russia. And so a couple of things. Okay. They've met a few times. He's gone over to Russia once, and then the families all met in Paris. Did a trip to Paris. He said that right now, when she comes over, she's got the K1 visa. The K1 visa is the fiance visa. I think it's the same thing. I think K1 is the formal name of it, and everybody just sort of calls it the fiance visa, which means that you have 90 days from the time that person gets to America to get married, because you have done all this paperwork to say that this is the love of your life, and that their purpose for coming to America is to get married. So I actually had a friend who brought over a guy on a K1 visa. They're very expensive, and they take a long time, especially now. They take longer than they used to for obvious reasons. So they got her on the K1 visa, so she's moving. She's on her way. Now she don't know that she knows that they're gonna be living at his parents' house. She ain't happy about it, and she wants it to be a short-term situation. But what she doesn't know is that they're gonna be living in separate rooms. Her parents were like, "Listen, we're just not comfortable with them sharing a room, and they're not married yet. Like, once they get married, okay, cool. But until they get married, nah, you sleeping here, you sleeping there." And his daddy told him, "You need to let her know that y'all not gonna be sleeping in the same room." Like, that's probably something that she gonna want to know before she get here. She ain't gonna be happy about it, but you rather her pout and get over it now than when she gets here. But honey, he ain't tell her. The other thing they had a conversation about was the fact that she is not on birth control. Now, honestly, on one hand, the mama asking was a little like, "Why are you asking me about whether she's on birth control or not?" But on the other hand, like, I ain't mad at mama for asking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't mad at mama for being concerned about the situation, right? So we see them, getting the rooms set up and all that good stuff, and the parents are actually taking him to the airport to pick her up. Again, because it's an international flight and because of where he lives, it's probably cheaper for them to get a flight for her to come into either Dulles. Yeah, Dulles. So they're probably going to Dulles Airport, which from Dinwiddie, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe an hour and a half drive, 2 hours, maybe. Maybe an hour and a half. But anyway, it's a drive, right? It's not like right down the street. It's a drive, and maybe even longer than that. I'm thinking about Dinwiddie. Anyway, it don't matter. It don't matter. It's a drive. So the parents were like, "We want to go with you to pick her up from the airport. We want to greet her. Our future daughter-in-law. We want to be there." And he didn't want them to come because, of course, he was like, "Well, I want to see my boo by myself. Like, I don't want this to be a family affair. I want it to be me and her, getting to know each other, meeting up." He said, but the mama bribed him and was like, "Well, if you let us come, then we'll pay for y'all to stay in DC for the weekend and kind of, have some fun in DC, be alone before y'all got to come back to the house. And so he agreed to it because, he was like, all right, cool. Now the other thing is they're gonna be living with his parents longer than she probably anticipates, because he said, hey, my money a little funny after dating her and spending all the money that I've spent over the last, however long they've been dating. He said, when I went to go visit her, I paid for everything. When we went to Paris, I paid for everything. Doing everything with this visa, I paid for everything. He said, so my credit cards are a little maxed out. I think he said he spent about $10,000 altogether with everything. He said, my credit cards are a little maxed out. And right now, my money, I just need more time to save up some money, pay some bills off. And my parents are gonna let us stay there, so it's cool. It's whatever. Now, when they were on their way to the airport, honey, why his mama call her OBGYN and make an appointment for the girlfriend to get birth control? I said, is she making? Is she on the phone? Are we? Wow. That's all I can say about that is, wow, in my Flavor Flav voice, right? So then, and Julia's a go-go dancer. Next we have Jovi. Now Jovi is 29 years old and he lives in New Orleans. He's from a small town outside of New Orleans, down in the bayou. But he lives in New Orleans and he has this great job. He does something with aquatic, whatever, where he goes, he said he travels all around the world. He's been to 25 countries while doing this job. And it's one of those jobs where he's actually on a ship for 28 days. And then he has 4 weeks off. So it's a month on the ship, uninterrupted. And then he has a month of vacation. And he said what he had started doing was taking those 4 weeks and traveling the world. He said he would just pick a country and he would just go spend his 4 weeks in that country. And he said, it got to be a little lonely. And so he downloaded this app. I think he said it was a traveling app or whatever, where you can meet people in different places. And that's how he met his boo. Now, he's dating, where'd I write her name down? Yara. And she's from the Ukraine. And he said basically their relationship started off as I would say an international booty call that evolved into a relationship. But here's what had happened. She got pregnant. She got pregnant after they had been dating a couple of months. And then he was like, okay, I got to do the right thing. So he proposed to her. But then she lost the baby. And he was like, he thought about whether he wanted to continue the relationship or not. Because he was like, I'm kind of off the hook now. I like her, I love her, but I don't know if we were ready to get married. But now that she's not pregnant, I don't necessarily have to get married. But they kept moving forward with the process, with the K1 process. And now she's on her way. Now he says that right now she's a makeup artist. But he said that she is very high maintenance. She likes nice clothes, nice cars. Nice clothes, bags, shoes. He said, I'm just a simple country guy. Like, I don't really need a whole lot, Now, he just moved into his new apartment. And it's not, it's a bachelor pad. You know what I mean? It's not it's not designed and all this other stuff. It's a bachelor pad. But it looks like it's a nice little spot. Now, here's what's crazy, though. She's coming in town. They have 90 days, 3 months to get married. He's going to be there for 2 weeks. Then he's leaving for a month, right? For his 28 days. Then he's coming back. So essentially, 1 month out of their 3 months, he's not even going to be there. Now, who he thinks she's going to be with and spending time with and all of that, I don't know. I also feel like we're seeing that he might have maybe a drinking problem. He said he likes to drink, and we saw him, first thing in the morning get a drink kind of thing. I don't know if he does have a drinking problem. He said he just likes to party. Maybe that's what he's doing. He's sort of a party guy. I don't know. His friends do not think it's a good idea. His friends are like, listen, I don't think that she understands what she's getting. No, this isn't, they're not here for it. His mama ain't really crazy about it. She thinks it's really crazy that she's gonna be here, you're gonna be with her for 2 weeks, and then you're gonna leave. Like, that's not right. That's not fair to her. Now, she gets in town. Now, she said she had been flying for something like 19 hours or something crazy like that. She said she flew all around. Like, her flight was crazy. It was a crazy flight. So she might have even been flying longer than that. But she had been flying for a really long time. He wants to party. Like, he wants to go out. And she was like, no. And, I mean, she was grouchy. But, I mean, a lot of people are grouchy. Like, literally, I've been on a plane all damn day. Like, I'm tired. I mean, but the way he travels, that's probably what he does. He gets off the plane, he goes to a hotel, probably freshens up, and he hits the clubs. Like, I feel like that's the kind of guy he is. So he didn't understand why she had a problem with it. But she was grouchy, and then he was like, well, this isn't how I envisioned our first night in America going. But I'm like, you gotta understand, like, it might be cool for you, but you gotta understand she's tired. You know what I mean? But anyway, so their situation is getting off to a rocky start. Then we have Rebecca. Now, Rebecca is 49 years old, and she lives in Georgia. Now, she is she's the Zaid, I think his name is. He is from Tunisia. He's Muslim. He's a very devout Muslim, which is going to be a big part of their issue. Now, this is one of the couples that I think was on last season, so I don't know, other than the flashback scenes they've shown us, I don't really know a lot about what happened last season, okay? She's a manager of a fast food restaurant. She says she's had a lot of different jobs, she's done tattoos, she's done all kinds. She's tatted up and all that good stuff. Now, because the fact that she spent so much money with doing the visa and everything, her lease is up in her apartment, and to save money, she's moving in with her daughter. Now, her daughter is older. She has a fiance, and so again, that's kind of an issue as well. Zavid he has a problem with her living with an unmarried man, even if that unmarried man is her daughter's fiance. He said he doesn't like it because she'll be walking around in her pajamas, and that's not proper, and he'll be looking at her, and he doesn't like it. Now, Zaid is 27 years old. Now, on this episode, we saw her getting a tattoo honoring him. Now, she's tatted up, and what I found is the more tattoos they have, the less they're concerned about. Like me having no tattoos, getting someone's name tattooed on my body would be like a major, major, major thing. But I find that people, the more tattoos they have, like, each tattoo means something, but they're not so concerned about that, oh, well, it's there for the rest of my life kind of thing. Like, they're like, oh, okay, well, I can cover it up and move it on or whatever. Well, that was a chapter in my life, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's by my experience with my friends who have a lot of tats. Okay, moving on. When she went over to visit him, she found that he could be very controlling, as far as with his devout belief system, and that was some issues for them. But she said that they sort of worked it out. The daughter is not happy. The daughter is not here for it because she thinks that he's very controlling, and she doesn't like it. She doesn't like how he treats her mom. The boyfriend doesn't like it. The daughter's fiance, he ain't crazy about it either. And you can see that he's sort of protective, and he wasn't really here for the whole, I don't want her living with y'all because you're an unmarried man, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can see that he wasn't really here for it, Now, the thing with Rebecca is that Rebecca has, her visa situation is a little more complicated because she has already married a guy overseas and brought him back to America, and it turned out horribly. She ended up having to get a divorce. So of course the government is going to be a little more, look at her situation and her application with a little bit more scrutiny, because they're like, well, I mean, is this what you're doing? Like, you just marrying guys and bringing them over to the United States? Like, is that what your process is? So they're going through that whole thing. And then last but not least, we have Michael and Natalie. Now, again, this is one of the couples from the last season. Michael lives in Washington. He said he just about a year ago bought the land that his family, that runs in his family. It's like a lot of land out in Seattle. It's him and his uncle / cousin. I think technically it's his cousin, but he calls him uncle because he's older. And they're there. They work the land. Mike said, "Listen, I'm a carefree country boy. Like I'm always got a smile on my face. Like I'm a lighthearted dude." But it seems like on last season, they basically he went to go visit her because the visa was taking so long to process. So they went to go. He went to go visit her, and things didn't go too well. And she ended up giving him the ring back. She also couldn't say she loved him. She couldn't make herself form the words "I love you," right? Um, and that was an issue as well. Well, the visa has come through, and so it's kind of like, what are we going to do? We did the paperwork. We moved forward with the visa, even though we're not in a really good place. So she's going to come over, and you can tell he's very hesitant. He's very much like, I don't know how I feel. Like, I don't know where we stand, but we're gonna make it work. You know what I mean? We're gonna try to make it work. So she's packing to come over, and she says to him, she says, "Hey, where's Uncle Bubby?" I don't know if that's the name I made up. Where's the uncle? And he says, "Oh, well, he's visiting his son. He'll be back in a couple of days." She was like, "Coming back where?" He was like, "Here. He lives here." And she was like, "I'm not cool with that." Now, if you take away what we know about her from last season, because from what I've seen about her last season, I don't know if I'm crazy about her either. But I don't have a problem with what she's saying. Here she is as a woman by herself traveling around the world to a country where the only person she knows is this man. She's already putting a lot of trust into him that he's really a good guy. He really is who he presents to be, and he's not going to do anything to her when he gets there. But she don't know this man from a hole in the wall. And for her to be a woman living by herself with two men in like a remote area, I think she has a right to have a concern. Now, how they're going to handle it and how she chooses to express that, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But I don't think she's wrong. I don't think she's wrong for having a concern. Now, y'all may agree or disagree. I don't think she's necessarily being a horrible person. Now, two of their biggest conflicts was, one, he doesn't believe in religion and she's very devout in her religion. And two, she's a vegan and she wants him to become a vegan. And he was like, first of all, I mean, I get it that religion is a big deal to you, but I'm not inflicting or imposing my beliefs on you, so just don't impose your beliefs on me. And the vegan thing, like, you can eat what you eat, I eat what I eat, and I just add a piece of steak to it. Like, I don't see what the big deal is. So he's very hesitant. She could tell he's very hesitant, and so I don't know, y'all. That looks like it's gonna be real, real special. So anyway, that was the first episode. We're a couple of episodes behind, but we're gonna get caught up because, like I said, Niecy wants to do a couple of reviews, so y'all will be seeing her as we go through these reviews. If y'all don't know who Niecy is, that's my niece, and she's the one that got me watching this show. So I will see you guys later. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.